Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shooting the Shelves Wednesday one shots. I'm going to overpronounce all of my words now. Um, hope you're all having a great Wednesday. It is currently Tuesday night. I'm recording this really late. So apologies for any of our regular channel subscribers, members that get this on Monday. You didn't miss it. It just wasn't there until now. And if you're watching this down the road, none of that intro is going to matter, but I said it anyway. So it is Wednesday One Shot, where normally Curtis and I, or whoever, talk about something we want to recommend to you. This is essentially our staff picks, if you will. This week, I'm going to be talking about a musical group that I discovered a couple years ago called Two Steps from Hell. I'm going to bring up their page here. It is some moving footage, so I hope this doesn't get me in trouble on the channel here, but Two Steps from Hell, this is their official website, showing some concert footage and stuff here. It's a couple of guys, Thomas Bergenson and Nick Phoenix. And here it gives you their whole, the whole little story here. I'm not going to bother reading all of that to you. But essentially what it is very kind of epic movie score sounding music. That is just it's very cinematic. It's really cool. Some of it does have certain themes that kind of feel like they might belong to movies you already know. But it is definitely all their own unique things, and it's really cool. So I'll pull this down for a second. When I'm sitting over here at my paint desk, or even here at this desk, and I'm doing my writing for my stories or my books or whatever, I like to have music playing, and depending on what setting, what story I'm trying to tell, I'll have music that's appropriate. So if it's like a modern day setting thing, I'll just have my normal, songs, musicians playlist playing, like bands and stuff. If it's something that's more sci-fi futuristic, I'll have something that has a little more music that's influenced that way, more scores that sound like that from different movies and stuff. And then, if I'm doing custom painting for Mythic Legions, or if I'm writing, one of my fantasy adventure stories, I'll listen to stuff that includes music like Two Steps from Hell. Now, Two Steps from Hell, I discovered a couple of years ago through, I don't know if it was a reel or a TikTok or something that spooled over into Instagram. And it was, I want to say it was just a landscape shot, like a video that a photographer had taken of some sort of really cool landscape. I don't know if it was like a cliff on the side of a beach or a mountain range or something. And I just like, oh, that's really cool music. And, they had the little music description down below. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I just found a bunch of different albums and a lot of stuff that I really liked. I use Apple Music or iTunes or whatever it's called these days to purchase albums or individual tracks. I don't stream music anywhere, so that's where I get all my stuff from. So I got on there and would just kind of scroll through and started picking some out. The first album, I think the music that I heard came from this album over here. I don't know why. My mouse isn't showing up on the screen. But Invincible, this one with this kind of Spartan Trojan looking helmet over here, was some of the first music I heard. And then I just started listening to some things. I have that one. I have Archangel. I don't have Skyworld yet. That one had some definitely more kind of sci-fi futuristic sounding stuff. Got Battle Cry, Miracles, Unleashed, Dragon, and Myth. And there's some Christmas album and like a Halloween album that might be from just the individual guys in the group, not necessarily as Two Steps from Hell. But I'll say this: Myth is my favorite one. That opened a new thing. So that's a cool thing. If you click on their albums here on their homepage, it'll take you to Spotify playlists for those albums. Myth is my absolute favorite complete album from Two Steps from Hell at this point in time. It's got a lot of really cool tracks. And it is the one that I feel like from beginning to end has the most like kind of like fantasy sword and sorcery set music to it from beginning to end. The intro is just really cool, and it does have kind of some synth stuff and does have some different elements to it, but overall it feels like the most um fantasy of the whole thing. And they do have vocalists that come on. Some of them are singing in different languages. So kind of feels like kind of Lord of the Rings. Like you get the Moria, and you got that kind of orc chanting going on. It feels like those sorts of things where it's like an element that at least I don't understand the lyrics of some of these songs. And then on there, the album, where'd it go? Miracles here is this one kind of feels a little more. I mean, it's not a romance story, but it has more kind of like the love themes and things like that. There's a couple of really great tracks on there. One especially I like is called Stay, and Unleashed is really cool. This is a really fun album. I think my favorite song of theirs that has lyrics is on this album, and it's called See Me Fight. And I really enjoy that track. The whole album is great too. But Myth is awesome. You've got my favorite song on there or track on there is one called The Horn of Gabriel, with a couple different people that do vocals on it. It just has this really cool energy to it. It's got a build up and just some really cool sounds. I'm not a musician. I don't know all the things about music to talk about this in a professional musical way. I can only really explain how music makes me feel and how it inspires and makes me think about stuff. And Horn of Gabriel is definitely a powerful song on that. Twin Lights is a great one. Last One Standing, Queen of the North, Never Lost Your Life. Away with Your Fairies is fun. It kind of has a kind of, Celtic, Irish, Shire type vibe to it. It's very upbeat with some stringed instruments and stuff. Hercules is great. Inventing the Portal, Defenders of the Grail. Pwned is kind of cool. PWND. It's pretty intense, and I think there's one on. There's one at the end. It's a bonus track called Arcade Master, which definitely feels a little more out of the fantasy of this all. Maybe it's like future fantasy, but Tales of the Forest. And there's a couple on here that sound like they're from like a Pirates of the Caribbean type thing. But and then the song Myth itself is really cool. The intro and Phantom that kicks off the album is great. But they're really, really fun, epic. I don't know how else to describe it other than kind of like epic movie score sounding albums. And you can sample them. Like if you use iTunes or Apple Music or whatever device you buy stuff through, you can usually sample. Or you can check them out on Spotify or whatever you do your streaming through. And they're just really, really cool music. And I know that like music is a thing that I might hear it and it gives me certain ideas, certain visuals, certain story themes, and someone else can listen to the same song and go a completely different way about it. And I just think that's really cool, that music does that for folks. And some songs might make you feel happy or sad or this, that, and the other thing. And music is a powerful thing. And a couple weeks ago, I don't know if it was OffWorld or on Shooting the Shelf, we were talking about if you had to be deaf or blind, which would you choose? And the other guys all chose deaf, and I chose blind. Because it would totally change my life. I wouldn't get to look at anything anymore. But not being able to hear music or to hear people laughing or that sort of thing just would really I don't think I can live without music. Is it's something I've always wanted to do. I've tried a couple times to play bass or guitar, and it's just not my thing. I don't understand it. I can't get my fingers to do what they're supposed to do for that. So I use them for other things like typing stories and painting action figures. Are things I can do, and drawing. So I do those things. But I love music. Like, I'd be okay not being able to paint anymore, not being able to draw anymore, if I could still hear music and hear that inspiration and let it take my, my mind, my imagination, my heart, whatever, somewhere else with it. So if you want to listen to some new stuff, if this is a group you're unaware of, or maybe you haven't listened to them in a while, because I do believe, well, I guess Myth came out last year or 2 years ago. So I don't know if they're done as a group, or if they only do stuff from time to time and they focus on their own, um, their own music, their own creations. So I'm not that kind of fan. I don't know all the story behind the group, but the stuff they put out is amazing. Cannot recommend it enough. Really good stuff, especially, like I said, the album Myth, and Invincible is really good. And what was the other one? Invincible, Archangel. I really like Archangel as well. But yeah, there's a lot of great ones. There's a couple more that I need to get, that have some really great tracks on them as well. But yeah, really cool, really, really fun music too. Like I said, really just sets the mood for helping my creativity. And I have it mixed in with all sorts of other stuff. It's not just this stuff, but I did, over the last day, pretty much listen to all the albums I had beginning to end straight through without being on shuffle or whatever. And it's epic. It takes you on a journey. I think each album kind of has its own theme, and there are, different elements to it, but it's great. Yeah, I highly recommend it. So that's it for this week's Wednesday one shot from Shooting the Shelf. I'm Jesse Arnold, and you can check out our Wednesday one shot. Should be in their own playlist. Every week they release at noon on Wednesdays, or if you are a member of the channel, you'll get them sometime on Monday normally, except for this one because I didn't record it yet. We got some good stuff coming up, and it might be me and Curtis, might be Curtis and someone else. You never know who's going to show up. And that's it. So I don't remember how I end this. Curtis isn't here to set me up for the outro. This is the first time I've done a video like this on my own in a while. So thanks for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Tune into Shooting the Shelf on Sunday night. This Sunday, March 3rd, we've got the one and only Pete McCarthy, and we're going to be talking all about MesquiCon 2024 coming up in a couple weeks, on March 16th in Muskegon, Michigan. So tune in Sunday night for that. Otherwise, check out all the other awesome content that our friends make, like 1/6 Shooter, Legion's Lounge, Mike and Brad over in Legion's Lair just had on Christopher Michael Olsen. Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm butchering names. I'm gonna stop talking before I say more things wrong. Purple Gang, Dork Lair, Will White, all these folks, tons of stuff on YouTube, Instagram, and whatever, to find all these awesome people and things they do. So that's it for the Wednesday one shot. Check out 2 Steps from Hell wherever you listen to your music or purchase your music, and please purchase or sample it respectfully, so that the artists at least get whatever credit they have agreed to with whatever priors they do. Don't pirate music or obtain it illegally. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, have a great night, great day, great morning, great afternoon, whatever it is. I hope it's great for you. We'll see you next time. And how's it go? What's on your shelf?